I hurt a lot of people with my words and my actions when I was an addict. Not only by getting high, but by being a selfish, mean, and arrogant narcissist. I left a long trail of destruction behind me, and now that I was sober and I had some clarity, I had to clean up the mess I made. Hello friends, my name is Vas Solo. I'm a recovered drug addict and alcoholic, a practicing yogi, and a certified meditation instructor. Before we get into this video, I want to quickly remind you to please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. I make videos about addiction, recovery, and personal development, so if that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button. Making amends. This for me was the hardest and most uncomfortable part of recovery. First, I had to make a list of all the people I'd harmed and then reach out to them and be willing to make amends. And this wasn't just the people I'd harmed because of my addiction, it was everyone that I'd hurt throughout my life, period. Knowing that I'd have to talk to and meet with people I'd hurt, some of whom I hadn't seen in years, was intimidating. What would they say? How would they react? Would they accept my act of goodwill or would they send me to hell? I didn't know, and that scared me. When I shared this with my sponsor, he assured me that most people would be forgiving, and even if they weren't, I had to accept it. The important thing was that I was willing to clean my side of the street. Even if the person had a part in it, I wasn't supposed to mention it. And if they wanted me to do something to make it right, as long as it was reasonable, I had to do it. My job was to admit my fault and, if possible, set right the wrong. I started by first making amends to my family, girlfriend, and close friends. I thought about every way that I'd hurt them, and then I went to them, knowing that this was only the beginning, that what I was really doing was making a commitment to them to change, to become more loving and considerate, to grow into someone they could eventually rely on and trust. That would be how I truly make my amends. After I talked to them, next came the scary part. I started reaching out to my old high school friends and acquaintances, some of whom I hadn't seen in years.
Ah, my high school yearbook. You handsome devil. I can't believe I ate the whole thing. So many memories.
I had to message them and tell them that I was a recovering addict and ask them if we could meet so I could make my amends. I knew that I had to do it, that it was the right thing to do, but to do it, I had to subvert my sensitive ego, which resisted, like a frightened cat resisting a bath. What helped me to overcome this resistance was prayer. Before reaching out to someone, I prayed for the willingness and courage. Also helping me was the sense of urgency that I felt when I hadn't made an amend for a while, because I'd go from feeling well and recovered to gradually feeling worse. Afraid that this would lead me to relapse, I'd quickly make an amend and immediately feel better. Like they say in the program, faith without works is dead. There's only so long that I could live off of yesterday's recovery. So I kept making amends. And I found that what my sponsor had promised me was true. Almost everyone I messaged or met was kind, compassionate, and forgiving. Some were even surprised to hear from me because they never felt like I'd harmed them. Everyone with the exception of one of my ex-girlfriends reacted this way and didn't ask for anything more.
Why you leave? Wait, hey, what you want me to beg you? I get down on my knees, I beg you in front of all these people. I think I can't. These people are watching. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
After working on this step for a month and a half, I was very close to being done. Next, I came clean to my clients. I told them the real reason why I'd been calling in sick and missing our workouts. And again, I was surprised because no one got angry or upset. They were all understanding and showed genuine concern for me, which was very humbling. It was amazing to see how fast people could forgive and move on. And it felt so good to tell them the truth, to not have to hide behind my excuses anymore. And as I made amend after amend, I felt more and more peace flowing into my life. I felt stronger in my recovery. And before I knew it, I was almost done. I only had one more person left on my list. This was the amend that I had the most apprehension about. It was a former employer, someone who had hired me to work as an in-home personal trainer for his company. And he also promised me a certain amount of business but never delivered. So after a year of working for him and losing money, I went to work for myself and I took a few of his clients, thus breaking the non-solicitation clause that I'd signed. At the time, I felt like this was fair. He had broken his promise, so I could break mine. But now that I was committed to living an honest life, I could tell that it was wrong, and that in order to finish this step, I had to to talk to him and tell him what happened. And I was scared because at that point I was 6 months sober and barely getting back on my feet financially. And I felt that this could put it in serious jeopardy, especially because my boss had emailed me a few years back and threatened legal action. But I also knew that I had no choice, that my sobriety to me was way more important than the money. So whatever the outcome of this was going to be, I was going to accept it. So I messaged him and I told him the truth, and I offered to send him $1,000, which was all that I had in my savings. And he accepted. In fact, he told me he'd already moved on and didn't hold any grudges towards me. And that was that. I was done my amends. In a span of 6 months, I finished most of the steps, which took me from being a hopeless drug addict to someone who was recovered. I had no desire to use drugs and alcohol anymore. I had mended most of my relationships. I felt healthier, happier, more connected, and for the first time in a very long time, I felt hopeful about the future. My life had a new sense of direction and purpose. I was on that pink cloud that people in recovery talk about. And this has been the experience of anyone who's done the work, because this program is not for those who want it or need it, it's for those who work it. So if you're sick and tired of suffering and the drugs are no longer working the way they used to, go to a meeting, find a sponsor, and work the steps. I promise it will change your life. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Please support the channel by liking, sharing, subscribing, and make sure to hit the bell. I'll be making lots more videos about recovery and working the steps, so please subscribe. Thank you for letting me share this message with you. If you have something that you want to share, please post it in the comments. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.